I didn't get into motivational speaking for a number of years afterwards, because the thought of standing on that stage horrified me. And it was actually Roger Black that said to me, hang on a minute, if you can run around a stadium in front of 80,000 people in a leotard, you can get on that stage. And I just remember thinking, do you know what? He's right. And he just said, there's not that many successful sportswomen out there. You know, I was probably the only one at the time, really. I mean, it's very different now. But also people want to know your story, what you learnt about yourself and how you achieved what you did. And I thought, do you know what? That's probably right. And I remember the first one I did was to IBM. There was 3,000 people, and they'd made me this track, a running track with 5 blue sort of running lanes in this swirl that went sort of up the back. And I was petrified, but I used all the skills that I'd learned from my running days around, you know, preparation, the mental ability, you know, visualisation of seeing myself on that stage and delivering it. And I loved it. I had such a buzz. And I guess at the day, do you know what? You know, if you've come from the sporting world, you are a performer. That's what you love doing, and I guess that's what I love doing when I get onto the stage. And the bit I really enjoy is seeing people that think, oh, another motivational speaker or another do that the work has put on and whatever, and they're sitting there like that. But by the end of it, they've got tears in their eyes. They're sitting there, they're smiling at you, and you've taught them something. You've got something across to them, and I love that feeling. I think the fundamental traits of a winner, there's a number of things that I'd learned, and the bit I love around what I did and around the business world is what makes somebody, someone's got a talent, but what is that space in between that makes them, a high performer that really go on to that next level? And what does that look like? And I guess for me, it is, we all work hard, we all train hard. I think the thing that excites me is all those little pieces that you can learn about yourself and you can put into place, as an athlete, but as a business person as well, in around how you look after yourself, how you keep yourself, fit, how you keep yourself nutritionally engaged in what, to give yourself enough energy, all those areas. And then it's around that mental skill, because 9 times out of 10 that I speak to people, and that is what's holding them back. How do you get to that next level? And that's around your mental ability to be able to prepare yourself, to be able to emotionally perform at that high level. And that doesn't just happen overnight. You can't just click that into place. And the fundamentals need to be in place, in that you've got to have done the work, you've got to put all those small areas together to get you there. But that last little piece of that mental skill is what holds people back. And that's the area that I love. And that's the bit that I love to sort of, just work out within people. I know what I had to do. And I love being able to share those stories, and they're real tangible stories that people can actually take away and can actually use for themselves. I think it was really weird, because when you do stand on the line and you deliver, something like an Olympics, and it's not until you've achieved that and you look back and you look at that journey and what you've been through, and I guess it's the real tough times that comes out, and you think about the things that have gone wrong, the injuries, people telling you you're not good enough, and there was many times where I felt like I was going to walk away from the sport. I walked away from the sport for a number of months, but realised that, I loved it and that's what I wanted to do. And it's not until I achieved at that high level that you realise that was such an important part of it. And getting over that adversity was around, learning about yourself and what makes you have focus and that drive and that passion that you really want. And I think I would never have won what I had unless I'd gone through that adversity in my life. Winning that gold medal was completely life-changing. You know, I'd done everything I needed up to that point of crossing the line and winning, but nobody can prepare you for you know, how your life is afterwards, because it changes overnight, in a good way, but also I guess what comes with that is pressure and expectation. And you know, the years leading on from that, it's a completely different story that I had to go through within my athletics career, around sustaining that excellence, making yourself resilient, making yourself be able to deal with that pressure, which was, you know, very different pressure to I had in that Olympic year. But you know, again, it was a challenge. And I thrived on it, and I got myself into that position that the more pressure that was on, the better that I would do as an athlete, and that takes years and years of training and mental training to be able to get yourself into that state. Yeah, I think there's you know, doing an individual, like I felt very much within the 400 hurdles, was one thing, and I felt like that for many years. But actually, you're not an individual. You know, it's a massive team that's got you to that start line, even though you're the one that's out there and you're the one that's in front of the telly or people are watching. I knew that I probably 4 years out, 5 years out, that I can't do this on my own. And so you do stand on that line and you are part of that team. And it's actually no different to being part of a relay team. It's no different to being, you know, the team captain, which I was, of the Great Britain team. You know, you need help, you need support, you need to nurture each other on, you need to understand each other, you need to know, because everybody within that group has different challenges, have different goals, so you need to how to get the best out of each other. And I think that was a skill that I had to learn, because I did for many years think it was me on my own out there. But it was a real skill, and something that even now, you know, going on in life, it's, you know, I need that support and I need people around me to you know, for me to be able to thrive. Yeah, visualization is a really important tool. I know some people think, oh gosh, you know, it's a bit wishy-washy. I think it's around preparing yourself for something that you're not sure about. You know, I know that some people sort of think, you know, how do I do this? You know, what is the skill in it? And it doesn't take long. But visualization was a really powerful tool. And I would say as much as 70% it was in my mind on that day of my race, and that was how I'd mentally prepared myself, what that visualization had looked like for the last 12 months that I'd put in place. So it is a really powerful tool, but you've got to be able to know how to do it. And you know, it's very easy if you can do all the work, but if you're going to stand up there and do a presentation and you haven't visualized yourself standing out there and delivering it, you're going to lose your way. You're gonna, you know, not get across what you wanted to, or maybe it's in a situation where, I don't know, you've got to go and meet the boss, you've got to go and talk through how you're getting on at work. And if you've done your preparation, but if you haven't visualised yourself in that room, communicating with them and being thrown a certain question and how you answer it, you know, you might as well just throw it all away. It's the last bit. It's sort of like the tablecloth that goes over the top of it all. And, you know, so often we don't get that straight and we don't put that out there. And it's a real key to bringing everything together. For me, it's around, you know, how do you become a high achiever? What did it take? And I love that. I love the synergy between sport and business. It's so strong. And, you know, I look at what I say, the 5 lessons that I learned from my running that I apply and I take into my life now, because I always say I'm like everybody else, trying to be a successful businesswoman, trying to run a family, trying to keep myself healthy and fit, and all these sorts of things. You know, sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days, but what is it that I drew on? And I think a lot of it is around knowing what you want to achieve, having clarity in your mind. I think that's really important. I think it's around having that support and that help and that team around you, and looking at, for me, and how much tiny little things can help so much in a big way. And whether that is around nutrition and exercise, but just dealing with stress, dealing with confidence and that sort of thing. They're tiny little things that we can add in to sort of, help ourselves be the best that we can be. And then I think it's around communicating with people, how best to be a leader, how best to, I look at my coach and how did I get respect for him? What is it that he taught myself? And I've learned so much around that, of just, guiding people, helping people, being there for people in the way that he was. And I think, having that relationship with him from 14 right to the end was really, really key. And then I think it's around that mental skill and that real belief and that passion within your mind that you need to be able to get out.